Proprietary deal sourcing is always a challenge, but starting with a strong outreach approach is key. Today, we're joined by Will Woods of B. Woods & Company to discuss what it takes to consistently originate off-market opportunities. Will, thank you so much for being here. We're going to jump right in. Tell me about some of the biggest mistakes that you've seen made when it comes to originating off-market.
Yeah, thank you. It's good to be here. I see mistakes quite often. One of the biggest things that I see is, it's business development, and particularly origination, is often treated as not someone's full-time job, or a firm doesn't have a specialized or dedicated function for it. That's one of the biggest things that, the impetus for even hiring a buy-side third party like us is to specialize in that. So consistency, persistence, and doing it in a professional way. This is why a firm would hire us. So having a team that's busy, a deal team that's executing deals, doing diligence, managing portfolio companies, and partners that are managing LPs and doing fundraising and things, they are all very capable of doing deal origination, absolutely. But you need to find the time to do it, and our team does nothing else. We just source deals all day. So that, and then I would say that additionally, like the thesis aspect, it's important. Some firms will not be thesis driven, and that just usually means they're reactive to whatever's in the market. And I understand that there's a lot of really interesting, nuanced businesses and opportunities that arise in the market that you couldn't have even thought that they existed before. Yeah, but you need to have some kind of a proactive approach to be able to discover those at a higher velocity, if nothing else. So, but coming up with a thesis, working with operating partners to come up with the value creation play and the approach, it's all really important, and that's all. It ultimately gets communicated through to the business owner when you're having conversations. So those are a few mistakes and pitfalls that we can help firms to help overcome.
All right, so it sounds like firms really do need a differentiated approach here. Can you tell me about what that looks like when done successfully?
Yeah, absolutely. So differentiation is really important in today's market. I mean, it's ever increasingly competitive from the M&A perspective. You have a lot of firms with deployed capital and also dry powder. So there's competition from the seeking platform perspective, and also from the roll-up or add-on perspective. And we're on the front lines. Like our firm is on the front lines, reaching out and having conversations with business owners. So we see it all, and we get the feedback from founders very directly and unfiltered. So I'd say that in terms of differentiation, it's quite important to understand not only the company, but who it is you're speaking with. So to date, I think that most people in business development functions and private equity are researching companies, and they're trying to get as much information on a company as they can, build a target list and market map and understand the sector. Again, all very important, and we do all of that. But this next level that is more enabled now with technology and AI, where you can do more enrichment, is on people and understanding the people, because ultimately that's the last mile of deal sourcing, and that's what really our value is at the end of the day. And especially with all the ways you can use technology today, we need to be able to have a conversation on the phone with a business owner, be able to read the room, and having a conversation with a founder who's 10 or 20 years into owning and running their business versus a second or third generation family owner. These are very different conversations, and you need to know how to have those conversations differently. You cannot treat them all the same.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Well, you certainly have a front row kind of view to this business development process, the origination process. So are there any other tips that you can give deal makers in terms of improving the efficiency, the effectiveness of their deal origination strategy?
Yeah, I would say that having a thesis, which really from my perspective, it's having conviction on the space. So rather than, hey, we want to go after this sector, we're interested in this sector, which often is the case when it comes to us. Maybe a firm had done some work on a banked process and they didn't ultimately win that process, but they like the sector and they spent a lot of time there, so they want to find an alternative, say, platform in this space. So they'll come to us and we'll run a platform search. But having established some conviction and understanding of the space and what's the valuation or value creation play? Why do we like this sector versus others? And not only just sector, but like subsectors. Let's break this out into a bunch of different subsectors and research each of those. All of that upfront work comes through in the conversations you're having with business owners. And I hear it all the time, feedback like from my team on introductory calls that we have between our clients and the business owners we connect with. And the business owners will tell us that like they receive 5, 10 plus outreach touch points per week from buy-side firms. But for some reason, ours was different. They felt it was different, or the individual on our team that reached out and had the conversation, it felt different. And that just comes down to understanding their sector and really understanding the why of why are we trying to find an investment in this space, and what do we know about your business and what you've done with this business. That comes through and in conversation. And I think that building a list gets you to the door, but it's having a good conversation with a business owner where you are establishing empathy and can read the room, establishing trust, all these things. That's what gets you through the door, and that's really what we focus on and what my team does really well.
Mm-hmm. It certainly reiterates your earlier point that this is about people, I would say. All right. Well, Woods of B. Woods and Company, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.